Good morning, YouTube. So, this morning I am making some egg whites with some cheese. So, we've got egg whites right here. I'm going to be having some yogurt with 15 grams of cheese. And then I am off to the gym this morning. Hey guys, it's me again, here for a video that is near and dear to my heart, that I have wanted to talk to so many people about, and that I feel like needed to be made because there needs to be like a central location that you can read about all of this, because your girl's been doing a lot of research. You're gonna love this. Not something that most people are going to want to talk about. Bloating. Alright, whether it be competition prep, real life, all of the in-between, because there's an in-between, I think. I don't really know. I wanted to talk about bloating because I feel like a lot of girls get confused as to what bloating is and to how it can affect their daily life. I personally have been experiencing a lot of bloating in the last couple of weeks. TMI, sorry everybody. But a lot of people experience that during competition prep. So I kind of wanted to break it down a little bit because I feel like it's something that needs to be talked about. So I kind of want to give a little bit of a general definition as to what bloating is, because I feel like a lot of people kind of mistake holding on to extra weight in their belly versus bloating, which currently your girl is doing both, because apparently my belly doesn't want to lean out. Whatever. Anyways, bloating is when you have gas pain. So this is when you wake up and you're distended, your stomach hurts, you feel like you gotta go to the bathroom, and you just overall don't feel good. Holding on to a little bit of extra belly fat, totally normal for females to begin with, but it normally isn't accompanied with the painful, the gas, passing gas. Like, that's for sure when if you're just all of a sudden you're not a gassy person and then you're passing gas all the time, that's when you're actually bloated. And I just wanted to kind of make that distinction because I feel like a lot of girls think that just holding on to extra weight is bloating, but it's not. And that's something that I've had to come to terms with too, because I thought that I was bloated before, like when I first started prep. No. I didn't actually start getting bloated until I realized all these different things that I was adding into my body that were causing me to have a hard time. So let's go ahead and get into it. I wrote little notes. I'm like all ready to go over here. Okay, so I feel like a lot of girls get really upset because they feel like they've been working so hard, they've been sticking to their diet really well, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they get on the scale the next morning and they have gained weight. So I've seen this a lot with myself because I will wake up in the morning after a night shift and I get on the scale and I'm like, how am I the same weight? How did I gain a pound? I literally did nothing but stand on my feet all of last night and then come home and go to sleep and drink a whole bunch of water, and yet I'm still bloated. How is that possible? So, with that being said, the first thing that I want to talk about is sleep. So, when you're not sleeping, you, for one, wake up cranky. Raise your hand if you feel personally victimized by lack of sleep. Your girl right here. Anyways, so when you don't sleep, it increases the level of cortisol in your system. So cortisol is a stress hormone, And when you're not sleeping, therefore you're stressing yourself out, therefore your cortisol levels are going to increase. Also, at the same time, your leptin levels are lower. So leptin is what helps you feel full. So this hormone is what makes you feel satiated, what makes you not want to eat again. So whenever your leptin levels are lower, you're going to be hungrier. You might overindulge a little bit and you don't even realize it. So the question then is how much sleep is an optimal amount of sleep? Typically speaking, you need to get 7 to 8 hours worth of sleep. I find that I'll drop weight when I get even more than 8 hours, but 8 hours is kind of my max. I'll drop more weight the more sleep that I get, to be completely honest. Like, I'll wake up the next morning and be like, whoa, I dropped 2 pounds. Where'd that come from? When I work back to back, and so I'll work 3 12s in a row, and I'll work night, or even when I was on days, I saw the same thing. The next is water retention, and water can actually be held on to for a variety of reasons. The first one I'm going to talk about is, sorry guys that watch this video, my bad, menstrual cycle. Your menstrual cycle can cause you to just hold on to extra water. We all know that. We've been growing up being told that. You bloat when you're about to start your period. It typically should go away within the first 2 to 3 days after your cycle has started. For me, it's 3 to 4. So I hold on to it for a while, and that week is just miserable for me because I'm down on myself and I am not seeing the scale move, and I just have to remind myself it's going to get better. Your body just takes a little bit longer than most people's. So you'll kind of get into a rhythm where you can kind of tell when you're going to be able to drop that weight and you're going to start feeling better. You can get to a point where you can kind of predict it. So the next thing that I want to talk about are your electrolyte levels. So these can be altered by the foods that you eat, the vitamins that you're taking, the amount that you're drinking water, the amount that you're sweating out, so how hard you're working and if you're sweating. So if you're sweating a whole lot, you're dehydrating your body and you need to replace that water. We all know that, right? A lot of people don't drink enough water. That's why a lot of like hardcore competitors you see drinking 1, 2, for some of the guys, even 3 gallons of water in a day. If you're not eating enough salt in your diet, you're probably holding on to water because your body is just completely imbalanced. It's holding on to whatever it absolutely can. And then also, if you're cutting water in your diet, you're typically going to hold on to water anytime that you drink it. So you have to be really careful and find, like, when you dehydrate yourself, there's a chance that you can bloat. Everybody's body works a little bit differently. That's why these cookie cutter diets of, we're going to give you this many meals of chicken, this many meals of broccoli, and this much water, does not work for everyone. So you have to learn like what makes your body look more full and what makes your body look more lean. So a lot of people will say, no, cut the water, so that you look dehydrated, but that's not necessarily the best way to go about it if that's not what your body works with. If that's what your body works with and you get results with that, then great. Me personally, I have found the more dehydrated that I get, the puffier I get, which is just me holding on to every bit of water that my body possibly can. So the next thing, told you, bloating video, constipation. Alright, so you kind of have to find a level of fiber that your body actually wants. So there's soluble fiber and then there's insoluble fiber. And I'm not really going to get into the whole bunch of that except for the fact that soluble fiber makes you bloat. So soluble fiber does not move through your gut the way that insoluble fiber does. So we kind of want to make sure that we're getting a level of like 25 to 35 grams of fiber a day. I've found that my body prefers the 25 as opposed to the 35. The 35, I get bloated, I'm not really happy. Anything below 25, I'm definitely not happy. I am like so bloated that it hurts. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to the amount of fiber that you get. You can supplement it, you can get it through your foods, but fiber is super, super important because if you're not hitting your fiber goals, you're going to continue to be bloated, constipated, and your body is not going to look its best. This is another one that I thought was really funny. I actually haven't done a whole lot of research on this, so I'm hesitant to include it in here, but I read somewhere that if you're not chewing your food enough, your body has a harder time digesting it. So me, coming from a nursing standpoint, that makes sense. If you're not chewing all of your food, your body hasn't actually taken that food to its lowest level possible in order to take it through your system and digest it. So you're just swallowing stuff whole. So more to come. I'll put it in the comment section. I'm going to do some more research and decide whether or not that's actually a thing. But I figured from my personal reasoning standpoint, it makes sense. And you're so hungry, you just gobble down your next meal, and then you're like, oh, crap, I didn't chew all of that, and then all of a sudden you're bloated. So I'm going to do some more research, see what I think about that one. This one, though, is definitely for real. So cruciferous vegetables. So things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all of those are going to cause you to feel more bloated. So they're high in fiber. So they have high levels of sulfur and raffinose. And raffinose is actually something that the body has a really hard time digesting. So when your body has a hard time digesting something, it produces gas because it's not capable of taking it in the way that it needs to. So it kind of ferments a little bit. So your body produces gas, therefore you become bloated. So that's why you hear a lot of people say, oh, broccoli isn't necessarily the best vegetable to eat asparagus, it's a diuretic, blah, 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 blah. So I personally eat cauliflower and don't really have any problems with it. Brussels sprouts, on the other hand, really no good for me. But then again, that's just something that you have to figure out for yourself. You have to determine whether or not you are capable of handling that. Dairy. So as all of you guys have heard with like people that have problems with lactose and all that sort of stuff, like it's kind of like, oh, I'm lactose sensitive. Like that actually is a thing. Some people it's not. For me personally, I can handle 1 cup of yogurt a day totally fine. I don't have any problems with it. Other people, on the other hand, it can cause a little bit of bloating. And this is where you kind of go from, sorry, I got that football game on over here. It's Texas A&M and Auburn. Texas A&M is killing them, and Clemson beat Auburn the other weekend, so go Tigers. The reason behind people not being able to digest dairy is the idea that there is lactose in dairy, which people, if you don't have the enzyme lactase, your body has a hard time breaking down that lactose. So therefore you end up with gas and the same sort of stuff as when you were taking in the raffinose. So this is where you kind of decide like whether or not like, oh, okay, this does affect me, like cut it out of your diet, see how it goes, and then put it back in your diet slowly, see if it affects you, that sort of thing. And then last, and unfortunately the saddest of them all, because I love these, sugar alcohol. So sugar alcohol can make you bloat pretty badly, because, I mean, if you think about it, it's a completely unnatural substance. It's something that is not found in nature, that our body just does not have the capability of digesting. So that's going to be like aspartame, sucralose, which is Splenda. So unfortunately, like your things like your protein bars and your gum, your sugar-free gum, they all have artificial sweeteners in them. And I hate to say it because I love gum for cravings. I eat really sweet protein bars like it's going out of style because I still want to be able to have some sort of cheat for myself while I'm on prep. I actually just cut protein bars from my diet because I was having such a hard time with sugar alcohol. I can still handle gum because it's a very minuscule amount, but I was having a really, really hard time with sugar-free, but sugar substitute enhanced protein bars. These also include things like diet soda, so like aspartame and Diet Coke. I found that I can handle 1 Diet Coke a day and a little bit of gum, and that's it for me. I can't put Splenda in anything. I can't do any of those sweeteners because they make me bloat so badly. And that is literally like the biggest deterrent when you're competing, like when you're competition prepping, because I get up in the morning and I'm like, yeah, today's going to be a good day, and then all of a sudden my stomach is like, no, today is not going to be a good day. You are going to feel like crap, and that's not fun. So then, on top of already being in a caloric deficit and just wanting to eat everything in sight, I'm feeling like crap because I've got something going on in my system that's no good for me. So the biggest thing is a lot of competitive bodybuilders will tell you to eat clean, and there is some logic behind that, especially in regards to the sugar, alcohol, and all that sort of stuff. But 1, cutting the artificial sweeteners. 2, making sure that I'm not eating too much of like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, those sort of things, the cruciferous vegetables. And 3, the fiber. And 4, water. I drink water like nobody's business. It flushes me out so good. And I feel so much leaner the next day when I drink a whole bunch of water. So I know that this is more geared towards competition prep and all that sort of stuff, but I also think that it can be applied to regular day life and everybody else. So this is just me letting you guys know what I think in regards to bloating, and so that it's all in one place so that you can all learn about it. So guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Hang out with me for a little while. You'll know when all of my videos go up. Again, I'm sorry that it took me forever to get another video up. I have been super busy with work, but competition's coming up. I am 6 weeks out today, and your girl is feeling the pressure. But it's gonna be okay. Alright, like always, it is wonderful to talk to you guys, and I will be making another video super soon, and I will have it up for you guys ASAP. Maybe a full day of eating. I don't think you guys want to see what I'm eating right now. This is real boring, but we'll see. Anyways, until next time, guys.